All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do another Spider-Man book. This is the Amazing Spider-Man 208 from Marvel Comics. Another cool one-shot, I think. So yeah, more is coming, by the way. This is I believe, still in Manhattan or somewhere, and there's a traffic accident, and Spider-Man wants to come and check it out. It's been by Danny O'Neill, who's the writer, John Romita, Junior Layouts, Al Milgrams, and Brett Breeding finished art. Anyway, it's in New York City, by the way. So he comes in and he thinks, well, let me help you on your way, right? And then people are just screaming at him. He says, no, the cops haven't made out the accident report yet and nothing should be moved till they do. We'll never collect the insurance now. It's just, okay, they attack Spider-Man, right? You stupid creep, he says. And but then we go to, I don't know, some kind of a privately owned research corporation where this little man has basically invented a subatomic particle accelerator capable of creating new elements. And he's very proud of himself. But then his little brother called Pinky comes in and he doesn't appreciate his humor, by the way. He says, may I remind you that I am the twin who became a scientist and you are the Fusser twin who works as a janitor. You don't hardly let me forget, Hubert. In that case, why don't you go on about your duties? Just be careful, Hube. Don't get hurt, he says. But arrogant as Hubert is, because he says, I made everything myself. I don't need to be careful. And he's a little bit self-absorbed, right? He says the hidden meaning of creation itself are ready to be revealed, and I shall reveal them. So he pushes then some kind of a control. No, it's not really a button, but anyway, he touches a switch. But then it goes wrong. A burst of raw energy of 100 trillion nameless specks of matter are unleashed. So abrief is the maelstrom that Hubert Fusser does not even have time to scream. But then Pinky comes in, but it's also bombarding him. The particles, I mean. And then it happens then. The brothers touch. Slowly the flesh seemed to melt and merge and become one. Awesome. Meanwhile, not at the Daily Bugle, but at the Daily Globe. I believe it was the rival paper then back in the day. So he's also making pictures of the Daily, for the Daily Globe. So anyway, they are not amused at Peter. He's always late, man. So this head of this guy says, I'd like to introduce the club's new circulation manager, direct from the Los Angeles Courier, Mr. Rupert Dockery. So this is not really important, but if we are doing more comics from this time period, era, we probably see Rupert Dockery a little bit more. And he says, I believe the Globe has been overly concerned with printing facts. It reminds me of modern day where facts is just false news or something like that, or fake news. Anyway, so Peter is not amused. Barney said, one of the chief photographers, I was the only head picture taker. Who is the other? So Barney says, hey, I got you a new colleague, a backup, and this is Lance Bannon. And we're gonna, if I have the book, see Lance Bannon in the future again. Peter, again, not happy, so he's taking going for a swing. But then, we also then go to the hospital where they are visiting Anna Watson, family member of Mary Jane. I believe she's her aunt, if I'm correctly. So he's going there with Aunt May, but then the spider sense is tingling, and then all these people running in the wrong direction, or in the opposite direction, I mean. And he sees a strange being and wants to touch this woman that is, supposedly fainted. So he rescues her with his webbing, and then this thing jumps out of the window onto the street, right? And he's also a little bit bigger and looks stronger. So Spidey jumps out, and Aunt May is rooting for Spider-Man. He says, who are you? He says, we are Fusion. And then, oh no, I barely touched it, and I'm rebounding like a handball at great cost of my dignity. The comic book guy with the cape never has these problems. Is you reference to Superman? I love it. Anyway, all looks great. But it seems that Fusion, everything he touches, it loses its battery life, lights, engines die, etc. And it also talking to himself, but of course you can guess it's the brothers, right? But one of the brothers, the scientist guy, says, well, this is a great opportunity, right? And but Pinky says, I don't want to do anything to do with this. Can you comprehend what happened, Pinky? We fused into a single being. He says, we are absorbing energy from whatever we make contact with, from the fall, the cars. Yeah, well, you'll have to absorb energy without me. I'm cutting out. No, we have become the greatest phenomenon of this history of science. But then something happens. Pinky falls down without sudden, any warning. But also Hubert, the same thing, and then he's falling on the subway tracks, and Pinky is crawling towards him because there's something coming towards them, a train, and then he falls over, and then they being fused again. We absorb the momentum and impact of the train of our body. It has made us stronger. But still, these people are probably being hurt, because it's standing still in seconds. So it says, we can suck millions volts from the power rail and become mightier yet. It ain't right, Hube. There may be no limit to the energy we can make a part of us. We must test our potential. Spider-Man has basically lost them. He's changing back into Peter and then bringing Aunt May home and then changing into Spider-Man again, right? And adds. Also jumps on the police car that possibly looking for Fusion. And he says, yeah, we're heading for the Upper West Side. The interior area is blacked out. So this guy says, I'm not going to look. I'm just going to drive. He says, blackout, huh? It could be coincidence. And pigs could do algebra too. This is an 80s book, right? It must be. Let me check. Yeah, it's 1980, right? I can barely see it, but yeah. Hilarious. I really like the language back in the day. Anyway, so it seems cars are not moving, engines aren't even running, lights are out, right? So yeah, it's Fusion's. So Fusion is just absorbing power, right? And it's hungry for more. He says, you called yourself Fusion before, I assume that's your name. It will serve. Swell. Because I hate to web somebody before you've been properly introduced as Spider-Man. The Future says, fool, I absorb the energy of the chemical reaction of your web fluid as easily as I absorb electricity. Thus, I render it useless. So, Spider-Man wants to punch him in the face, but then he releases a little bit of energy and Spider-Man's been flying away with incredible speed. More ads. Anyway, so he's a little bit groggy. So he says, hey, are you headed for the Indian Point nuclear power plant? Yes. Once we absorb the entire output of the reactor, you'll be on your own Christmas tree. But I can't let you do it. Punches didn't stop him, and neither did the web treatment. So I tried the old squeeze play. This is really it's getting old real fast. Hube, I'm begging you, man. Quiet, Pinky. So then Spider-Man goes on the top of this bridge and also realizes that he's talking to himself. If we die, Pinky, we die splendid. For the cause of science. You ain't interested in science. You're interested in you, says Pinky to Hubert. So Spider-Man uses this cable as a lasso, right? And he says, hey, you can do nothing to me because I'm not grounded to the electrical charge. And then he's throwing him overboard into this river. But then Fusion says, observe, Pinky. By stamping hard on the water surface, we create a reaction which keeps us from sinking. Another validation of my theories. So Spider-Man swings again, and you are a tough little Dickens to stop. I have a feeling you have your two personalities wrapped up in the same nutty package. How astute, says Fusion. You admit. Why not? It makes us, all the more remarkable, does it not? Now remove yourself. I'm through being gentle with you. So Spider-Man explains and says, hey, I cannot let you go to the reactor. It's too dangerous. The half of you can listen to reason must realize that. More ads. Pardon? He says, please don't go to reactor. But then Pinky says, I cannot stop him, mister, but I can separate us. Pinky, no! Get us apart long enough for you to knock us out. Fool, you would deny us the chance for greatness. Help me, Spider-Man. If we lose 2 pieces, we lose power. You can touch us without being repelled. He says, I'll try. And then he's, realizing that before they fuse again, he needs to use more force. And he apologizes on behalf of the good twin. He says, they're 2 harmless-looking midgets. I better get them to a doctor, though I doubt that an ordinary MR will be able to treat whatever ails them. Maybe then I can figure out what that all means. But I wouldn't bet on it. And that's just basically the end of the book. And as far as I know, oh yeah, Kraven the Hunter is next. I believe we did that already. And as far as I know, this is the only time that we see fusion. This is their origin and basically also the last that we see them. Another science gone wrong episode in the marvelous world of, Marvel Comics. I mean, still when they were fun. Anyway, guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you like it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.